In the 27 years that the Williams House has been open, it has grown from the one original house with a treadle sewing machine into a 5-building complex, bursting at the seams with historical memorabilia and tributes honoring DeKalb's past. The year 2019 was a time of major expansion. A new building called the Madison Commissary was added. The exterior was built as a replica of the commissary, company store, on the Worth Madison farm near Lanesport, Arkansas. For many years, Worth III and Beverly Madison collected antiques from all over the country. They had farm tools and machinery. They had household articles and Native American artifacts. They also had a vast collection of nautical relics. They were people with great interest, and they wished to preserve their treasures and share them with others. Therefore, before their deaths, they asked their children to make a place to showcase the collection. Thankfully, Worth V and Janie chose the Williams House. After the outside of the building was complete, the work began inside. There is an old barn located at Hoot Owl Farm near the Red River on Highway 259 North. The barn, usually referred to as the Old Calvert Barn, was in disrepair. Worth IV thought some of the lumber might be used inside the new building. Indeed it was. In fact, everything, the walls, flooring, tin, ceiling, shelving, and all inside construction materials were salvaged from that barn. Tearing out, washing, planing, and refinishing the many boards began this labor of love. Next came the displaying of the countless artifacts. Days were spent collecting, hauling, cleaning, arranging, and labeling hundreds of items. This was accomplished with the efforts of many friends of the Williams House, and the finished product is a thing of beauty. In October 2019, about 200 visitors, family and friends, attended the grand opening of the Madison Commissary. The DeKalb Chamber of Commerce had a ribbon cutting, refreshments were served, and a good time was had by all. Of course, the new building was the main event of 2019, but in addition to that, over 950 visitors came to the museum that year. They were from 26 states, Australia, and England. 22 luncheons were hosted, 12 parties or reunions were held, and Oktoberfest was celebrated at the Williams House. The year 2020 has been rather slow at the Williams House due to COVID-19. The museum is only open on Saturday afternoons or by appointment, but we have still welcomed 163 visitors and hosted 4 lunches and 3 parties. Also, we have had some other important changes. The building formerly called the Pavilion has a new name. We have a friend and benefactor named Jerry Johnson, who lives in Twinsburg, Ohio. Jerry is a rock and roll enthusiast and a great fan of Ricky Nelson. Since he found out that the tail section of Ricky's plane was in the museum, he has made many visits to DeKalb and is one of our biggest supporters, both financially and morally. This year, the Friends of the Williams House decided to honor him by renaming the room where the plane is located. It is now called the Jerry Johnson Pavilion Hall. He said that he was very humbled and honored. We are honored to have such a wonderful friend. In addition to the plane, the Pavilion Hall has tributes to Dan Blocker, Lib Belly, and others. A new exhibit is a 20-foot dugout canoe discovered several years ago in the Red River north of DeKalb by Shenandoah Spivey. And as I said before, we are bursting at the seams. All of these articles, as well as many, many more, are a great source of pride for the Friends of the Williams House. Anyone who has not visited the museum is missing a wonderful opportunity to learn the history and people of our community and surrounding areas. We appreciate being honored as Organization of the Year and thank the Chamber of Commerce for recognizing our work. This work will not end.
Go.
Okay, I want to tell you first that we have renamed this building. For many years, we just called it the Pavilion because in the beginning it was just an open air cover. Now it's called the Jerry Johnson Pavilion Hall. It's named after one of our benefactors who is from Ohio, Twinsburg, Ohio. He started coming down here when he found out about Ricky's plane. He is a great enthusiast of rock and roll music and a great fan of Ricky Nelson. He has been a huge help financially and morally all through the years, and we decided to name the building for him. When people come here, this is what they come to see. They come to see Ricky's plane or Dan Blocker. We also have a tribute to Lead Belly, who was a blues singer and songwriter. This is our old post office. old post office, old news office. We have the latest addition is the dugout canoe that Shenandoah Spivey found in the Red River, and he's loaned it to us, hopefully for a long time. We have a military display. We have 3 men that graduated from DeKalb High School that went on to become generals in the Army, some form of the Army. And that's Jimmy Cash, Jerry Eisenhower, and Perry Dalby. We have a tribute to them. We also have a guy from DeKalb, Al Perkins, who played backup for a steel guitar player, backup for Ricky Nelson, for a lot of other famous people, and we have a tribute to him. He comes here ever so often to visit us. And
Well, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Steel Guitar Hall.
Yeah.
A lot of people are interested in how this building came about. One day, I was out working outside, and Worth Madison fourth, stopped by, and he said his parents had spent a lifetime collecting antiques all over the country, and he was wondering if we would be interested in displaying them. And I said yes. So we made arrangements, and Carolyn, my wife, and I went over and looked at the collection, and we thought we would bring home 3 or 4 items in the trunk of a car. And so Carolyn eventually said, well, Worth, I don't know what to pick. I just don't know what to choose. And he said, no. He said, I mean everything. He wanted the whole collection. So of course that meant we had to have a building to put it in. And then to make a long story short, the Madisons and Mosers owned the old barn down on Highway 259 that all of you are familiar with, the old silver barn that's about to fall down. And he asked, did I think there would be any lumber worthwhile in that building? And I told him I would go look and see. And when I went and looked, I knew we had enough lumber and everything to complete the whole barn. The entire inside, floor, walls, the tin on the ceiling, everything was taken from that old barn and refinished, and that's how the building ended up here. The outside of the building is built to be an exact replica of the Madison Commissary, the original building, which is on the farm and still there today. So we have a lot of history, 2 or 3 different things, not only what's included in the building, but the design of the outside of the building and the material that was used for inside the building. The handheld air raid signal, it's got the Japanese writing and all. Mr. Madison brought this back from the Solomon Islands after World War II. And it's quite a, you can fold it up. I know he don't want me to go into all of this, but let's see here. You can fold it up and put it in your pack. And then if you hear the American planes coming, you grab it out right quick and just let her go.